Hi Cuckoo Tribe, and welcome to Conversations with Banke. Our guest today is none other than the First Lady of Kwara State, Olufolake Abdulrazaq. Our First Lady is a seasoned diplomat with over 3 decades of service to our nation. She has had an incredible impact on our society, which includes youth, children, and women. I cannot wait to get into the conversation today. So we're going to welcome Your Excellency. Thank you so much for joining me today. You have been part of our Cuckoo Tribe for a number of years. Exactly, number of years now. And not have you gone from being this First Lady that I admired to becoming my customer. Yeah. You're also my big auntie.
I know.
And it's such a pleasure to have you here today.
Thank you. It's so fantastic to be here.
Thank you.
We've been talking about doing this for a while, so I'm glad we're able to do it.
Yes. So I just want to kind of allow my customers to know the amazing work that you do and see the amazing person you are. So what inspired you to go into the public sector?
So I don't know if you know my background before I became a First Lady. So my background is diplomacy. At the age of about 5 or 6, I used to follow my father around. He was in our embassy in Washington, D.C. and a few other places. And, I decided I was going to become a diplomat. Mm-hmm. So by virtue of that, serving Nigeria in various countries, it just was always important to give back. And I grew up in a family that always, my father had so many people who were sponsoring for so many things. Yes. And my mother as well. Yes. And then I married into a family that's also public service driven, and everybody gives back. So it just is part of me. So becoming a First Lady is just like it's just a normal transition from being a diplomat, being an ambassador, and then going into the being a First Lady. It's all public service. So all my adult life I've been in the public service.
Wow. And you have made so much impact. You have the initiative Ajike. Can you tell us a little bit about that as well?
So Ajike People Support Center is an initiative I founded just to be able to do something, because you're First Lady and you do a lot of the very important and official events. Yes. But when we have little side things, it's a way you can be more personal about it and be able to do more and reach a wider audience. So Ajike People Support Center, we started, and we've been able to do so much because we have different aspects to it. So we have the Ajike People Support Center skills acquisition programs, where we train people, we give them skills. One of them is fashion. Yes. So we train them in fashion, and they can now sew, cut and sew, and do a few things. Amazing. And then give back to society. The other is health interventions, where we do screenings, we do a lot of things, eye tests, so many different things. The one particular thing that I do in the health is the sickle cell as well. Okay. So I've been able to put a lot of people on the on our state social, the investments, medical investment, and put so many sickle cell warriors and go about talking about it, because Nigeria has the highest burden of sickle cell. Funny enough, I just saw Adekunle Gold the other day, just a couple of days ago, and we've spoken about collaborating on doing something on sickle cell, and I'm sure we're going to be able to do that.
I love that.
We also have the social interventions where we give people a little bit of money to start businesses, to do a few things. And also the education. So a few people we've managed to put on, little scholarships here and there. We've been able to find schools for some people. I don't know if you followed the story about the blue-eyed lady and her children.
Remember?
Yes, you saw her. Yes. So we were able to put her children in school. I was able to get them a flat to live in for a few years, and so many other things. So Ajike has given such a big platform to be able to give back and do all these these things.
That's so inspirational, and it's so important to give back to our community, especially when we're able to. And we worked. I met the Blue Eye Lady at the Governor's Spouse Forum
event last year.
Yes, exactly, and that was incredible, and it inspired me to do more in that sector. Can you tell us a little bit more about the Governor's Spouse Forum?
Yes, so we're 36 states.
Yes.
And each state has a first lady.
Yes.
And then so we all took it from the governors. So the governors have the Nigeria Governors Forum.
Yes.
Where they do a lot of things, and we in the Nigeria Governor Spouses Forum were operating as Northern Governor Spouses and Southern Governor Spouses for a long time until we came together about five years ago. Yeah. And the thing that brought us together was sexual and gender-based violence.
Yes.
That was our main theme, and that was what you spoke about at the event.
Exactly, and that's why the Blue-Eyed Lady was there.
And that's why the Blue-Eyed Lady was there, and all the others. And I'm glad you are also doing a few things in sexual and gender-based violence.
I felt so moved after that, and there was some people there from different charities, and I followed up, and we did some work with them as well.
Yes.
And it's just something that isn't really brought to life enough. And so I love that about and I love the fact it's now called the Governor's Spouse.
It's now called the Governor's Spouses. We had to do that because we were known as Nigeria Governor's Wives Forum.
Yes.
And, we went to a few places and got a lot of backlash. And, are you saying there won't be any men, any men, or are there never going to be female governors?
Yes.
In the 21st century, you need to be spouses, not wives. So we took that on board and we became the Nigeria Governor's Spouses Forum. And we all work together. So in our different ways, we do all our individual things, but then we have a few things that bring us together that we do together. One is that conference you attended last year.
Which is amazing.
That was our fourth,
so inspirational,
that was our fourth annual conference. And it's important, it reaches a lot of people.
Yes.
It talks about all the things that we're doing, all what we want to achieve. We have the stalls and the stands that each First Lady brings, the things that are known in each state.
Yes.
We bring it to showcase there. And, we're hopeful for the 5th year, and hopefully you join us again this year.
Of course.
Yeah.
I love getting involved and with all your initiatives because they're so inspirational to me.
Yes.
I know they make such an impact on the community. So it's so amazing to see how they grow. So I'm excited to see what this next forum brings.
Fantastic. We look forward to seeing it.
Definitely. So I want to talk about your fashion.
Yes, let's talk about the fashion.
You are a very fashionable First Lady. I have so many people sending me pictures. Every time you wear a piece, it's like, oh, she looks so amazing. You really bring our pieces to life. And thank you for wearing my pieces so well.
Yes, I love your pieces.
The colors, everything, So can you tell me your favorite Banke cuckoo piece?
Yes, so we did have a discussion about this.
Yes.
What's my favorite Banke cuckoo piece? Because I have so many that I love, and but we spoke about this green one, the long one with the train, and then it had these little beads and things on it. And green is my favorite color. It just reminds me of nature, of humanity, of everything. It's a calming color for me. And so that was just a wonderful piece to wear, and I think I'll choose that one.
Oh, thank you! It looked absolutely beautiful.
Thank you.
And I think you wear the pieces so opulently, and you wear them so elegantly. It's amazing to always see you in the pieces.
Thank you.
How would you describe your fashion sense?
So yes, I told you that I've been a diplomat, all my adult life.
Yes.
And a lot of the time it was important to be corporately dressed.
Yes.
In because we're in the international fora, we represent Nigeria, and so you're either fully corporate or you're fully Nigerian.
Yes.
We were taught in the Foreign Service School you have to be fully Nigerian. It includes a headgear. It includes everything. So that has impacted on my fashion sense. my job, basically, and now
Yes.
being a first lady,
Yes.
it's important to channel
Yes.
culture and
Yes.
tradition
Yes,
and all these
absolutely.
things. And I love the fact that I can style your pieces,
Yes.
you know, with my headgear
Yes.
and, you know, a
Yes.
few other things.
Makes it look so regal.
You know,
Yes.
so I would say Afrocentric, but
Yes.
probably a bit corporate.
Yes.
I don't know. So somewhere in between there, I think
love
would be my
that.
fashion sense.
And
Yes.
it's you wear it so
Thank you.
effortlessly. Can you tell me some of your favorite Nigerian brands?
Yes, so you know, I brought you all together
Yes.
because you know you are my designers are not just my designers. They also become like family.
Yes.
They become friends.
Yes.
You know, I get to know you all on a much deeper level.
Yes.
Because I like to know what inspires the pieces, and then we talk and we create a lot of things together.
Yes. Yes.
You know my likes and my dislikes,
Yes.
and I'm always amazed that when you send me a piece, I can just easily wear it.
Yes.
You know my phobias. You know all the things
Yes.
that I can't and can't
Yes.
wear.
Yes.
So you, obviously,
Yes, thank you.
one of my favorite designers. You know
you.
that anyway.
Thank you.
I wear you. I wear
I
Adebakare.
love him.
Yes,
We become like friends.
You and
because
Ade,
of you.
yes,
You put us together. Yes.
yes. So Banke Kuku Adebakare, Nuva. This
Yes.
is Balaji, and
Yes, I haven't
Nuva.
met her yet.
Yes, and Nuva, apart from doing dresses, also does jewelry for me.
Ooh.
So she does a lot of my. Okay, so I hold a lot of traditional titles.
Yes.
And
I didn't know she
yes.
did jewelry.
So she does a lot of my corals,
Oh, wow.
because I wear a lot of corals because of all these traditional titles.
Yeah.
And the fact that, you know, my cousin
Yeah.
made me the Erelu of Ilado here
Yeah,
in Lagos.
yeah.
And I have all the titles that I have in Kwara
Yes,
as well.
yes.
So, you know, from Offa to all the other places, I have all these titles. So
That's
it's important
amazing.
to incorporate
Yes.
the corals and
Yes.
the African Nigerian type jewelry into my
amazing.
style.
That's really interesting.
Yes.
I didn't know she. And so you know, this is also style tips for
Yes,
everyone.
yes.
So it's good to know that she
Yes,
also does
yes,
jewelry
yes.
and traditional style jewelry
Yes,
as well.
yes.
That's fantastic.
Thank you.
So we've spoken about your style. We've spoken about your inspiration.
Yes.
Another thing everyone is probably thinking: you wear so many hats.
Yes.
How do you do it so effortlessly? You are a mother of 3 amazing boys.
Yes.
You are an extremely supportive wife, and I'm sure you run a very amazing, strict household. So, can you tell us how you do it all?
So I did have this conversation with some young people not too long ago in Abuja. This gentleman, Dio Israel, had an event
Yes.
and brought together youngsters that were, you know, trying to start work and
Yes.
start their businesses and all that. And you know, they did ask me, how are you a diplomat, an
Yes.
ambassador, a first lady,
Yes.
and all these things together? First of all, you need a supportive team. You need a supportive partner.
Yeah.
You know, so I want to big up the governor of
Yes.
Kwara State
Yes.
for his support and everything, the support of my children, because when you have children who listen,
Yes.
who also share in the vision, they don't
Yes.
distract you.
Yes.
So it was very good for me that the children, you know, embraced what I did. They
Yeah.
loved that I was a diplomat. They loved visiting me at post in Paris and South Africa, you know, and they, you know, and all that. It meant they had to be in boarding school sometimes,
Yeah.
but we were able to work through it, and you know, they understand that I have all these various meetings, conferences and things left, right and center. I go, I come back, and then I incorporate them into whatever I do.
Yes.
So my sons have been known to accompany me to diplomatic receptions. They come and join me in some of the conferences that I'm doing now as First Lady. I ask them their opinions, I task their brains. I just incorporate them in everything I do.
That's
And I
really
think that's so important to pass on to the next generation,
Yeah.
because it was normal when we were younger. We used to accompany our parents. I went with my dad. He used to stage plays and so many things. And I would go. He was, you know, a prolific writer. He wrote many plays, many books, and you know, he also worked in public service. Was director for film. He did, you know, I told you he was in our embassy.
Yes.
So he was very creative. So, and I went with him everywhere,
Yes.
you know, and we also grew up in a household where he would have garden parties and invite you to come in, and they would ask you questions and, you know, pick your brains and say, oh, what do you think about this? So I think that is important to do.
Yeah.
So incorporating my family in everything I do has also helped.
Yeah.
In, you know, shaping them and shaping me, because
Yeah.
sometimes you hear their opinion and my opinion. So it's challenging, but I also try to take, my mother would always say, take breaks,
Yes.
try and breathe.
Yes.
And, you know, that's one thing that we must all remember to
Yes.
do.
Yes.
Take frequent breaks and try and breathe. Find what is good for you that makes you relax and
Yes.
do it. So a lot of wellness.
Yes.
A lot of deep breathing,
Yes.
calm, you know.
Of course.
Wellness is very important. Get your massages in, talk to someone. Most of us have like a hairdresser or makeup artist that's like a therapist. So tell them, what do you think about this, you know, and all that.
Absolutely.
So I think, so wearing all those different hats,
Yes.
I'm happy they all flow into one another.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
happy I have a supportive team,
Yeah.
a good team. You can't go wrong if you have a good team around you.
Yes.
And like I said, a supportive family.
Yeah, I think that's really important. And, you know, I had this conversation with someone as
Yeah.
well. And I think, you know, instead of keeping your life separate,
Yes.
and then you're trying to
Yes,
jump from your
yes,
family, your
yeah,
work to, you know, it's always the easiest way is just do it all together.
It's better if it flows into one another.
Yes.
You know, if
That's
they're all,
really
if they're
good
all too
advice.
separate, it becomes a difficult
Yeah.
jump
Yeah,
from one to the next.
That's really, really good advice.
Yeah.
I mean, you inspire so many young girls, and I'm sure all the women as well.
I love the youth.
Yes.
They're part of everything I do in
Yes.
Kwara.
Yes.
And I keep saying, you know, so we deal with women, children, the youth.
Yes.
And then so that the men don't feel left out, I say, and humanity in
Yeah.
general.
We can't leave out the men.
We can't leave out the
No,
men.
we can't.
Because to be honest, a lot of men have supported me in what I do.
Yes,
My father,
exactly.
my husband, and all
Exactly.
these, you know, other
Exactly.
men. So we can't leave the men
That's
out.
a very, very good point.
Yeah.
So on the last point,
Yes.
because you have so many young girls
Yeah.
that are inspired by you,
Thank you.
what are the three pieces of advice you would give them on kind of achieving their goals and, you know, having a good life, living a fulfilled life?
So I love young women of today. I you know, I have a lot of them around me because I think they're so versatile. You know, I love the younger generation. My generation, we were so kind of like maybe put in a box. You have to choose to be this, that, or the other.
Yes.
But I've seen so many young women now. They would be doing something that you consider geeky, scientific, and
Yes.
then they also have an arty side.
Yes, yes.
They're a fashion designer,
Yes.
they're an artist,
Yes.
and you know, then
Yes.
they hold down a 9-to-5 job.
Yes.
So I think they're doing that perfectly well,
Yeah.
and I would like to encourage them to continue to do that. Because when you can fulfill your aspirations, your passions,
And express yourself.
and express yourself,
Yes.
it makes you more fulfilled.
Yes.
So I think they should continue to do that. So that would be my first advice.
Yes.
My second advice is to have older friends. Like you are my friend. So have older friends
Yes.
because it's important. The way I have younger friends, I
Yes.
think have older friends
Yeah.
because it's important to pick their brains, see where we're coming from. You know, I think history is so important.
So
I keep
important.
telling my children, go to the history of this. I send them historical pages and everything because you need to understand where you're coming from
Yes.
to know where you're going.
Yes.
So take an interest in history, find out why we're where we are, find out what we're doing, and have older friends who can
Yes.
tell you,
Yeah, can
one or
advise
two-
you.
Yeah, who can
Yeah,
advise you.
absolutely.
I have friends who are like 17 years older than me, and
Yes.
they're my friend.
Yes.
You know, they're
Yes.
actually just friends.
Yes.
And so that's important. And the third one is to remember to breathe.
Yeah.
Because we're doing so much now. It's a very high-paced world.
Yes.
You know, I saw a page recently of a social influencer who advertises things for 3 seconds each. And she would just swipe, and you know, everybody has taken in the information in 3 seconds.
Wow.
So that's the world we
Yes,
live in.
instant.
Everything is instant.
Yes.
It's very fast-paced, and you have to avoid burnout.
Yeah, it can be so overwhelming.
It can be overwhelming. So this is my advice. My third advice is to just avoid burnout. you know, don't take on too much.
Yes.
Don't overtax yourself.
Yes.
You've got to breathe.
Yeah, absolutely. I 100% support everything you said, and I will remember them. The breathing part,
Yes,
is very important, because sometimes even when you're just you
Yeah.
forget to breathe.
Yeah, you forget to
you know,
breathe.
and then you're just like, you know, it's a lot.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. This has been fun.
It has been, and I've enjoyed having you here, and I cannot wait to see you in more pieces.
Yes.
And I can't wait to have even more personal conversations
Thank
with you.
you.
Yes, so thank you.
Thank you, Banke. Lots of love. This was fun.
Thank you so much for tuning into Conversations with Banke today. Don't forget to comment in the section below on who you'd like me to speak to. Until the next time, have a great day.